Hello and welcome to Kelly Loves K-Pop. I'm Kelly. Today we're doing a tarot reading on the friendship between iKON and past member BI. If you do follow the Tumblr and you know how the request list looks, you'll know that I've kind of pushed a couple of readings up a little bit, and it's only to break up a little bit of the monotony of a lot of ATs and NCT readings that were requested in like clusters, and I just want to have some variety on the channel. But don't worry, those readings are coming up very soon. I didn't push them too far back, just a couple readings in there, like the Shonu one I did recently and this one, just because I want some other groups in on the channel too. Please forgive me for moving them around, but I just needed it. I needed it that way. So we're gonna go ahead and do what I always do, is a 3-card spread of a past, present, future, just to kind of get a general base on the beats of their friendship. And then we'll do a reading on, one on iKON and one on BI, and kind of see how they're feeling kind of in the moment and towards each other. Now, when I do groups feeling, sometimes it's like a group and a group, and sometimes it's a group and a solo artist. When I do those, you'll see me kind of speak more vaguely about the group, because obviously they're not a hive mind, they're not a monolith, they don't all feel the same. So I may tell you some people feel this way and some people feel that way. So when you see kind of conflicting opinions, just know that there are going to be people in a group who are closer with some people and people who aren't. So don't worry too much. As always, tarot readings are for entertainment purposes only. This is a brand new deck. This is the Raven's Prophecy Tarot by Maggie Stiefvater. I hope I said that correctly. I am not. It looks like a kind of German, Austrian type of name. I hope I did the justice. If anybody knows how to pronounce this better than I did, please tell me. But I think it's Stiefvater. Alright, so look at our past, present, future pulled in here. Just want to make sure I get them shuffled. Good. Past is the 9 of Wands in reverse. Present is the 10 of Swords. And the future is the 9 of Cups in reverse. So, 9 of Wands in reverse actually tells me that they went through quite a lot together. It's almost like battle tested, and I don't know if it's just because of the nature of their TV show that they came from, something like that. Yeah, the nine of Wands upright is about defending your position, and kind of in reverse it tells me just that, well, kind of that they lost. You know what I mean? Like they were kind of beaten up pretty good. I do think that's basically speaking on the kind of program that they came from, that they fought really hard, but they just didn't win. I've actually never watched the show that they came from. I just kind of gathered the difference between, it was like all of them, and Winner were the winners and iKON were the group made from the rest of the guys. If that's wrong, please correct me, but that's kind of what I'm going on here. And then we have the 10 of Swords currently, so they're kind of at the end of a cycle here. And swords can mean communication, but more so I believe it's like changing the kind of channels that they do communicate in. It is raining still, so if you're hearing a lot of pouring rain outside of my window, please enjoy the ASMR. Hopefully those of you going to sleep, maybe this will help you sleep better tonight. So my apologies. I have to record when I can record. I have a day job, but so it's not too bad, right? It's not too much thunder. 10 of Swords is really about almost feeling like you were really done dirty and then moving on. This is like bones in a hand, which I kind of like for this particular reading, because it's showing that even though it's kind of like the end of something, they still kind of stuck together. Whereas in the traditional like RWS card, it's like literally a man who was stabbed in the back 10 times. And that also could be something, prevalent to how BI might have been feeling. But this is kind of like, yeah, it's a skeleton, it's the end of a cycle, but they're still kind of like clinging on, like all those bones are still together in a way. So they've been through a lot. We'll just put it that way. Currently they feel like they've been through a lot, and it could be too with iKON and what they went through with Kingdom, and then BI also recently releasing his thing. So I think they just feel like they are really, I don't say exhausted, but they've been working real hard, and they're moving on to the next cycle for themselves. And then we have the 9 of Cups in reverse. We're not seeing like a happy ending here. The Nine of Cups, though, isn't something about a finality of a friendship. It won't be how they really want it to be. I just think things were fractured and they probably will never be quite as close as they used to be. I don't know, especially when military enlistments and things like that will affect their future, but it does seem like none of them will be satisfied with the relationship that they have in the future. Put it that way. Like, I think they will look fondly on their memories with each other, but in the future it's just not able to get it together. You know, it's like kind of like everyone's just busy doing their own life things. So I do think there'll be some just unsatisfaction, some disappointment there that things kind of just never kind of got back together the way they would have liked it to. But I do think there will be some communication in the future. I don't think that it's like dead, done, dusted. They're never talking again. It's just not the way they want to. I'm going to go ahead and do, I think I'll do iKON first, and then we'll do BI next. And I have some oracle cards that I'll also try to throw in there together. I have the dark mirror. I kind of recently got it and I'm kind of wanting to try it. It's a darker deck, might look good with this one. Let me know what you think. So let's go. The Chariot, the Fool, the Queen of Cups, King of Coins, Seven of Cups, Four of Cups, Page of Wands, High Priestess in reverse, Six of Wands in reverse, Death. Okay, well that's a clearer picture than I was expecting, but mostly good, mostly good. So Chariot and the Fool, things had to move forward. The Fool definitely tells me that someone that had to take a new path, a different path, but the Queen of Cups is like looking over it lovingly, right? The Queen of Cups is really emotionally nurturing other people or those around you or yourself. So it's like almost like moving on without someone, but also looking upon them fondly. So I think in the King of Coins too is like they're not really worried about the financial situation. And I think honestly, if BI needed anything, they were there to help him. At least some of them. But overall, it's definitely like, okay, we had to move on. We had to continue going. Almost, there was no choice. There's positive, very positive feelings here. And the Seven of Cups tells me they all have their own relationships with him. There's a bunch of different choices here. There's a bunch of different ways. So some are closer, some are not so close. But nothing here tells me of any negative feeling towards BI. None. Seven of Cups, like varying degrees of closeness, varying degrees of what they would have wanted to say and do and how to be around him. But overall, positive. Four of Cups and Page of Wands almost tells me too that they definitely would work with him again. I don't think there's any part of them that would not work with BI again. The problem is they wouldn't know how to do it. I think they would want to, but either they can't get around some loopholes with the company to try to find a way, even if it's in secret, you know, like I just think contractually they have issues because the High Priestess is just like not understanding, having limited information. But the Page of Wands is like potential. It's really about like feeling like you can do anything. And the Four of Cups, it's just almost like a missed opportunity. So it really reads to me as like wanting to do something, but just you can't get it together because you don't know how to do it. And the Six of Wands too tells me also, you know, upright it would be, it's almost like coming back victorious. It's like they're on the losing end of this. I think they all feel like they're on the losing end of this. And Death is about transition, just, you know, with the Chariot, it's definitely just moving on to the next thing, having to give up what you have to give up. If you're giving up what no longer works for you, what no longer serves you. So they see this Fool where it's like someone has to take that next step. It's their next step is different. Their next step has to benefit them, right? And obviously the people attached to them. I wouldn't be surprised if whenever contracts end, whenever they leave the company, that they will do something with him. But for now, I think legally they just can't. They just can't. So I'm gonna pull some dark mirror cards and see if we can't get a little bit more. I'm excited to use them. I'm excited. It's my tarot channel. I can talk about how excited I am about cards, right? I know you guys are here for the K-pop, but I'm here for the tarot. All right, so I'm probably not going to shuffle in reversals in this deck yet. I usually like to wait till feeling a little more connected and confident with the meanings of cards before I start shuffling in reversals. Tarot's a little easier because every card in every deck, you know, will mean the same thing. The same title, doesn't matter what the artwork is, means the same thing. Oracles, every Oracle deck is a unique system unto itself. And you have to remember all of the different card meanings. So it takes a little while longer for me to get into an Oracle deck than a Tarot deck. But I will get there. All right. All right, let's go. Yeah, perchance to dream. This is about wanting things that you cannot have. Fragmentation too. It really is feeling like a part of yourself is missing. So they do. Well, I mean, I think this entire reading has basically said the same thing, but yeah, they do miss him. They do feel like a whole chunk of themselves is gone. Peaceful among thorns. This is also about knowing, you know, you're going through hell, keep going, right? This is about knowing that you got to do what you want to do, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it hurts. Like, you have to continue to work, make peace with that. The harder you fight, the more it hurts. So you just got to keep going. And then again, sacrifice. Again, this is that it's almost like they're carrying him with them in, like, you know, they will never let the fans forget about him, kind of, in a way. They can only do so much, but I think they always want to hold that space for him, even if he can't return to it. Like, it really just feels like they know that they have to continue their fight. They have to continue their direction because, again, they're not in charge. This perchance to dream also talks about not wanting to kind of deal with things. Like, I'm gonna let some of the pain pass me by. Like, in this card, he's really talking about going to sleep so you don't feel the pain, or you don't have to deal with the pain of living, you know, or of being active in your life. But to me, it also speaks about them kind of stuck in this very stationary position, so they can't actively do anything about it. In their minds, again, like I said, holding like space for him, even though he can't actually be there, kind of living in this, not fantasy world, but like knowing that you want it to be is not the reality, but you're not giving up on that dream either, right? So that's what I have for them. I feel like I could go on and on and on about these cards, but I want to see BI's reading, so let's not make this reading too long because I'm surprisingly more into it than I thought it was going to be. So, okay. BI. Feelings toward iKON. Okay. Just want to cut the deck. Kind of want to cut it again. Okay. Okay, so 7 of Swords in reverse, 7 of Coins in reverse, Queen of Coins, 3 of Cups, Queen of Wands. Oh my God. I didn't want that card to come up. I really didn't. All right, Queen of Swords. Oh, excuse me. I will bleep that out. 3 of Coins, 8 of Coins in reverse, 4 of Cups in reverse, 6 of Wands. Okay. Okay, that I wish it was the Justice card, but we'll take it. We'll take it. So 7 of Swords is about either deceit coming to the light or it ending, right? I think we all know he's been going through dealing with some people that were definitely having malicious intents with him, and it could be just also publicly, like haters. It could be like the disdain towards him in the press could finally be starting to lessen up, or at least maybe he's feeling it a bit less himself. So that's good. 7 of Coins. It's about like laying in the groundwork. So in reverse, 7 of Coins is like almost, he's not able to work in the way he wants to. Could be some of that's still affecting him as far as he has to like wait. Seven of Coins upright is kind of like planting your seeds and starting to watch them grow, and it feels like he's still unable to really do that groundwork. It's like he's trying, but he's meeting resistance. And the Queen of Coins could be a person. He has like 3 queens here, and a lot of times queens read as like things you do for other people, but they could also actually be people, energies around him. So we could have 3 women. Queen of Coins would be a powerful woman. I don't know who owns his company. I do know he's kind of high up in it, but I didn't think it was his company. So I just don't know if it's like there's a woman and financially like helping him, looking out for him, or it's just about, even though he's having some issues here financially, he's okay. Like he's able to take care of what he needs to take care of. 3 of Cups in reverse though means he's not able to celebrate any of it. It's like he's done some work, but it's kind of not getting the reception he's hoping, and he's not able to celebrate it. Queen of Wands could be a woman talking about him negatively. Same thing for the Queen of Swords actually. When I see them together, it's like talking and then like fiery, you know, like again, like fire is coming out of her mouth. Now, it also could mean more work on the horizon. It could be him, his passions coming out of his own mouth, you know, saying things, you know, he needs to. It could be because, you know, just because it's a feminine energy doesn't always mean it's woman. I could reference him finally getting able to say some things he wanted to say. But my initial feeling was like women speaking out once again. You know, when I said I didn't want to see this card, it was this card, because already, like, just knowing what he's been through, a woman with any kind of negative things coming out of their mouth just triggers me. So the initial leap for that card, but it would be nice if it's him. It would be really nice if it's him finally getting to say some things he's been holding in. Somehow I don't think that's the case though, especially with this 3 of Cups in reverse. It's like that he's not getting to have an emotional celebration about anything. Like he's not getting to feel good about the things he's doing. And then you have the 3 of Coins, which is not able to collaborate. And we're talking about iKON, so I do think this is more specifically to iKON, because we know BI can collaborate with other people. It just seems like the ones he wants to, he can't. And it is definitely due to whatever is going on with this queen energy. You know, because the Queen of Swords is someone who speaks directly what's on their mind. Like they're not held back about those things. They're communicating their ideas or their thoughts very easily and quickly to other people. So coupled with some fiery energy, it just makes me nervous. Again, we have the 7 of Coins in reverse and the 8 of Coins in reverse. So it's kind of like trying to plant those seeds for growth. Normally you would finally, you know, it's time to plant, it's a time to sow. Normally it would be time to harvest, you know, see the rewards of your hard work. And he's not only pertaining to the public, but like all the hard work he set in for himself to also have, you know, friendships and relationships openly with iKON. It's like this affects that too. So this is kind of general, but it's also like directly affecting his friendships, you know. So this is about what's kind of the obstacles on his side, and iKON had their own obstacles, of course. So we have the 4 of Cups. Usually upright it would be missed opportunities, but in reverse it's definitely kind of like we saw before. It's like just not being able to do that, not being able to take that opportunity. There are, again, obstacles holding him back from that. 6 of Wands upright though is victory. I view this as the process though, because we've had so many 7, 8 like work related things that he has a goal and he's working towards it. The thing is that people do want to see him fall. If you look at the RWS version of this card, you kind of see that more clearly, where the man riding the horse with the laurels is kind of being watched by everyone around him, and not everyone is celebrating that. I think he's being careful that he's making moves towards his goal, but he has to also be careful of people that are going to also make that hard for him. And it could just be that's what's keeping him from able to be closer, is he's worried that that will spill over to the group or make it harder on the group, where obviously when it's kind of like a one host situation as well, where they're both, when they're away from the group, they take all that fire, all that heat on their own. They don't have to worry about hurting anybody else. It's just them. You know, it's very sacrificial. So it's kind of like heavy is the head that wears the crown. Like, so if he keeps to himself, backlash is also his alone. And that's kind of like what I'm getting here. So I'll go ahead and do the the dark mirror cards as well for him. You can see more about how he's feeling toward iKON. Okay, so let's see. How is BI feeling toward iKON? Let's go ahead and cut the deck. Woo-hoo! No, don't fall. Don't. Hello and welcome to Kelly Fights with Her Tarot Cards. Okay, let's go ahead. So, is this me? He's been through a lot, and I think this card talks about like learning who you are again, learning how you fit into the world again. He's been forged in this fire, and he's come out a different person on the other side. So, is it, even if he could return to the group, is the person he is now, would it feel the same? Would it work the same? Would it be good for him? And is it truly what he wants anymore? He's learning who he is again, basically. The Temple of my body. Temple of my body also, it speaks on like not feeling good enough and not feeling like you suit something. Like your very appearance will be picked apart. Oop, saw lightning outside. Loud. Okay, so a lot of times if people are having, I don't like to try to diagnose anybody, but he may have to be careful about how he treats himself, how, you know, that he is kind to himself and that he's not viewing himself more negatively than he has to, or mistreating his body in any kind of way. You know, this is just trying to remind himself that whoever he is, however he is, it's good enough. There's a place for him. You know, so there's some, I don't want to say dysmorphia, but something like that going on for him. Obsession. Yeah, he needs to be careful that he's not pitted back into things that are bad for him, that he's not like focusing too much on, I really want to say focusing too much on what happened to him and making sure that he's doing what he has to do to move on. Like he's not wearing this weight and this guilt too much. Like it doesn't need to be like everything that he is. He can't let it overwhelm him. He can't let it be all he thinks about, because he will tear himself apart. It will become too much for him to handle if he fixates on it for too long, right? So I think until he has a clear view of like kind of who he is now, he's kind of stuck in that. So let's go one more. Yeah, see, revenge. I really hope he's not too caught up and dragged back into nonsense again. I really, really don't, because I feel like if he did, he'd feel like he had nothing to lose. And he'd be hurting himself more than he would be hurting anybody else if he gets pulled into that. If he does. Because again, I feel like he'd only be hurting himself now. And I just don't, he needs to value himself. He really needs to value himself. I really hope instead of revenge, this card speaks more about just being able to leave it behind and like having his own success be the best revenge, right? I really hope that's what happens for him, because I don't want him to get sucked into too much negativity. And I'm just worried for that. Like I said, I just hope people don't come out of the woodwork for him again. Let's see, should we pull one more? Let's see. This is about him. He doesn't trust people. He doesn't trust anyone. And I think that's a part of the problem. Again, alleged for entertainment purposes only. Yeah, he's got a lot of issues that people are trying to take advantage of him. He may even start seeing enemies where there are none. You know what I mean? If he's too fixated on this and paranoia of things happening again, people may be having good intent, but he doesn't trust anyone to help him So it kind of just puts him back in this cycle that he's on his own. So yeah, he's seems like he's still going through some stuff. He feels very blocked still. So I just hope that does change for him in the future. I think he needs to be very gentle with himself. He needs to not blame himself, and he needs to not let other people pull him back into any nonsense. He just needs to like cut some people off and mute them. Do not listen to them. Ignore them. So, but yeah, I think right now he's still very focused on what he has to do alone. So I think as far as like iKON goes, like, I don't want to say he's not thinking about them, because obviously he has kind words towards, or kind feelings toward them, warm feelings toward them, but he's very, like, again, distracted by like personally what he's going through. And I mean, who can blame him? Who can blame the guy? He's still going through quite a lot. So I really do wish the best for him. I do hope he can get some positive reinforcement from the people around him that do care about him, and from his fans, because I definitely think he needs it right now. I think he's prone to like kind of falling into dark, vengeful thinking, and he needs to make sure he doesn't do that. Actively try not to do those things. So that's what I have for iKON and BI. I hope you guys enjoyed the reading. If you did, leave a thumbs up. If you have any comments, questions, please leave them in the comment section. If you want to choose what my next video is about, I have a link in the description to my Ko-fi page. For $5 you get to pick the next video topic. And if you want a personal reading from me, I have a commissions page there where you can order a reading from me, a personal reading, a private reading. So with that said, I hope you guys are having a lovely day. Hopefully it's less rainy where you are. You guys take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.